Good evening, everyone. The Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu has just arrived, and we request everyone to rise for the national anthem, followed by Tamil Thai Valthu.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाये तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे नीरा
We would request Srimati Lakshmi, founder Sowmanasya Trust, to welcome the gathering.
Good evening, everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our Honorable Governor on this wonderful occasion. I extend my warm welcome to distinguished guest of honor, Dr. Sudha Seshayyan. My hearty welcome to Shri K.V.S. Gopalakrishnan, sir. I cordially invite the NGOs such as Bhaktasura Bhajana Mandali, Hamsa Trust, Alapna Trust, who have traveled with us in various ways. I'm happy to welcome all the organizations who work for persons with autism. I'm glad to welcome children, parents, teachers, friends, relatives, volunteers, and media persons. I'm obliged here to remember Pujya Sri Swami Omkarananda, who released Advaitha and Autism in Tamil and in English 3 years ago. Before conclude, I want to say a few words about an incident. As soon as I finished writing this book in Tamil, the sad news about my 2 students reached me. Both were in their late 20s. One of them can identify any raga within a second of listening the tune. Another student was a very beautiful singer. He had been performed many times in the same hall. It was a rude shock for me. I visited their family. The parents told me about the experience of the last days of those young people. By the time I finished writing this book, I felt like those words echoed the ideas of this book again. The one who is excelled in raga identifying was standing unmindful with his torn stomach in a major accident at home. Not only that, until the last minute of his life, he was reading and preserving the book on Shringeri Sri Abhinava Vidyatirtha Swamiji's Yogamum, Jnanamum, Jeevan Muktiyum. The parents told me that we gave him the final farewell with that precious book. Another student's father showed me a book that he had last purchased. It is a book about the life of a spiritual lady, that is Jeevan Mukti Sarkare Ammal. His father told me that he had bought 2 books, handing over the copy to me if it would be for you, he told. At a time when there are so many futures competing to distract a young man, why did these 2 boys turn to a book about these spiritual people? You can find the answer in the book Advaitha and Autism, I hope. It's a matter of pride for this book to be released by our Honorable Governor. I'm obliged here to Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Chennai, Kendra, Sri Ramaswamy, sir. He is the backbone for our autism community, I can say. Not only for Sowmanasya, he is supporting various organizations who work for differently abled. All of our concerts, book release and album release and almost all other shows would not have been possible if Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan had not been with us. I owe it to you and express our humble gratitude and respect to that. I welcome you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi. And now we request through K.N. Ramaswamy, Director, Bhavan's Chennai Kendra, to honor the Honorable Governor and present the memento. May I request him again to honor Dr. K.V.S. Gopalakrishnan and present the memento. Ramaswamy sir, please. Thank you, sir. And now we request Srimati Lakshmi to honor Dr. Sudha Seshayyan. Thank you, Lakshmi. Now we request Dr. K.V.S. Gopalakrishnan to address the gathering. Please come, sir.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri Ravi Ji, Vice-Chancellor of Dr. M.G.R. Medical University, Dr. Sudha Seshayyan, the star of the day, the author of the book Advaitha and Autism, Srimati Lakshmi, Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Sri K.N. Ramaswamy, members and supporters of Sowmanasya Trust and other NGOs, Sri K.V. Ramanan, Sri S.S. Rajasekhar, and other esteemed audience members. I am happy to be here on this occasion when the Honorable Governor releases the book which eulogizes the qualities in an autistic person which shine out and are compared with the experiences of some of the spiritual giants like Sri Jadabharata, Sri Hastamalok, Sri Ramatirtha, Sri Jnananandagiri, and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who were able to liberate themselves from the Panchakoshas and the three body elements in their journey for self-realization. Going out of I-ego and understanding what I am is the essence of Advaita. Such a state is only experienced but can't be expressed. Sri Ramana Maharshi, who was a great speaker on Advaita, in one of his speeches would say, or quote, Ekam aksharam hridi nirantaram, bhasate swayam likyate katam. That imperishable, self-luminous one shines in the heart continually. How can one write it? In Tamil, we have been often repeatedly listening to Kandavar Vindilar, Vindavar Kandilar. Actually, when it comes to I am reminded of one of the conversations between Sri Satyasai and Puttaparthi and a devotee, when he asks, when will I get peace? Then immediately Satyasai says, when you get rid of I. That is the thing, which opens our eyes. Advaita teaches one to get out of Maya and experience Sachidananda. I think all of us who know about Tirumular, he has given simply as to how this Maya or mirage envelops this universe. Marattai maraitadu mamada yanai, marattin maraindadu mamada yanai, parattai maraitadu parmudar budam, parattin maraindadu parmudar budame. So it is everyone, I think those people who have been used to Shivoham, they will say everyone, the great Mahavakyas, Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi or Sarvam Kalidam Brahma, that is what it gives a strength for self-realization. But there are also occasions when, I think in Kerala, I think one of the villages, the village elder used to teach him about this giving up eye and seeing Shiva and everything. And when there was a riotous situation, and then this person said he saw only Shiva and everybody, he will say, Ichivam Achivattai Shiva, Achivam Ichivattai Shiva Shiva. So that is how you used to tell. But the idea is how we are able to get out of that egoism and then realize supreme. And when it comes to autistic children, it is not a learning disorder as such. It is a behavioral issue, and at times it coexists with learning disorder as well. We may find them extraordinary in certain aspects, and also they are endowed with extrasensory perception and extra qualities in themselves. And I'm very happy to see one of my schoolmates, Mr. Sriram, with his daughter Aishi, because Aishi finds a place in many of the writings of Mrs. Lakshmi. I think even when her stories are there, I think Aishi finds a place. Aishi told her mother one day, today you are not likely to go out because your driver is not going to come. She says this, and a little later she gets a message from the driver, my vehicle broke down, I am not able to come. Where is this extrasensory perception coming? And also, we find an extraordinary sense of observation and skills that was there in her. 1,000 puzzle can be put up very quickly by her, and once when she took up a box of 1,000 puzzle pieces, she said 2 are missing. And then it was true. I think this you will find in the book, how it is coming up. Such talented people can be made to realize their capabilities by developing them to focus well through music. That was one of the objectives of Sowmanasya Trust run by Mrs. Lakshmi. After all, how did Newton become a great scientist? It was his mother who could identify the problem in him and could take him in the right path. That is what we are looking for. And when it comes to understanding the problem of autism, I think we were a little late in India. Only in the 1990s, the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, launched a study on autism. And only that year, we also had a new act coming up along with the other things, namely Equal Opportunities and Protection of Rights and Full Participation Act for the Persons with Disabilities in 1995. But it is also there that the children below 10 need not have to be diagnosed with autism, but they can be given the right direction for their education. This is the thing where the society has to intervene and do, because according to statistics, 2.25 people in every 1,000 have the autistic tendency. And maybe they have calculated it to be somewhat 2.8 million in India today. How do we go about it? Individualist education plan, seek an outside evaluation of your own child, and the parental care, how do we make awareness? I think that is also one of the ideas of Srimati Lakshmi. We should reach out more, and especially music therapy as to how it can make them focus better. I think we have seen in the hall here earlier, every year when she has the day from Sowmanasya Trust, the children play, whether it is mridangam or violin or singing. I think they have the thing, how do we bring the best out of them? And in the case of Aishi, we had seen that she is able to observe. Let us try to do something. We may find there are certain communication skills lacking or social skills. And that is the only thing. But the way in which they express, whether you can understand it, they always think as to what you will tell them, she may repeat it when she wants to tell herself. But these observations and recalling memory, I think they are all reflected in the book. And she has given a lot of incidents where a person as well as the spiritual giants, where do they? And in this connection, I would like to place before the governor the 2 or 3 ideas. For instance, the Tamil Nadu government had earlier taken up a big awareness program for the government schools, especially to do something for the dyslexia-affected children. In the same manner, something needs to be done for early identification of autism and then doing something at the school level. If it is not possible in a special school, how do we go about it, and then what we can do for that? And there is also a need as to how in the educational institutions, especially those teacher training institutions, we can bring this type of disabilities identification and remedial measures in a smaller account. It should form a part of the curriculum. And also, whether it is possible in music colleges to also have a subject as music therapy. Because we have seen, even in agriculture, music therapy works. Then in the case of children, how the music therapy can be taken. So this awareness program is the one with which I think the community organizations have to come forward, and the government can also step in and then strengthen their hands. I thank Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, of which I am a member as well, for giving me this opportunity to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And now we request Dr. Sudha Seshayyan to felicitate. Please come, ma'am.
Vanakkam. Most respected Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Shri Gopalakrishnan ji, Shri Ramaswamy ji, my good friend, Mrs. Lakshmi, and all members of the audience, Vanakkam, Namaskaram. With the kind permission of the Honorable Governor, I would like to make my language of communication today a little Tanglish, mixing Tamil with English. Autism is generally classified as a developmental disorder, and the causes for this disorder are not very clearly evaluated, not very clearly defined, except that in certain cases there is a genetic component. Very often we find people with autism cannot be differentiated by the way or how we look at them. Very often they look almost like everyone else and do have certain extraordinary abilities. Some of them are very verbal, some of them are non-communicative. In other words, the range is very wide. However, there is something that all of us would have to think about this evening. The very word autism, where did this come from? Autism derives itself from the Greek root word auto. Auto means self. காந்தியிசம்னு சொல்றோம். காந்தியோட தத்துவத்துக்கு காந்தியிசம்னு பேரு. ஆட்டோ செல்ஃபோட தத்துவத்துக்கு ஆட்டிசம்னு பேரு. In other words, what Advaitha defines as Atma Sakshatkaram, autism experiences the same Atma Sakshatkaram as autism. Lakshmi has written a wonderful book, and as already quoted by Sri Gopalakrishnan ji, we find the lives of Jatabarata, the lives of Hastamalaka, and so on, very eminently collaborated with some of the identified manifestations of autism. As I was flipping through this book, I remembered the lives of so many of these sages and saints. Akka Mahadevi தன்னுடைய உடலை பற்றிய நினைப்பே இல்லாமல் இருந்தவர்கள். And she refused to be clad in any attire. And history says, அவர்களுக்கு கூந்தல் மிக நீளமாக வளர்ந்து அவர்களுடைய உடலை தன்னாலேயே மறைத்து விட்டது. கோடகநல்லூர் சுந்தர சுவாமிகள் தாமிரவர்ணி பேங்க்ஸில் அவதூதராக திரிந்தவர். அந்த மூங்கில் காடுகளிலேயும் சரவனத்திலேயும் தன்னை மறைத்து கொண்டவர். சேஷாத்ரி சுவாமிகள் திருவண்ணாமலை மண்ணில் படுத்து தூங்குவர், மண்ணில் பொருள்வர். அவர் பெயரால கட்டடங்கள் உண்டே தவிர அவருக்குன்னு எந்த இடமும் இருந்ததில்லை. ரமண மகரிஷி பாதாள அறையில் போய் இருந்தபோது அவர் மேலே டெர்மைட்ஸ் ஓடும், எறும்புகள் ஓடும், அவருக்கு தெரியாது. பிராமணசாமி உக்காந்துருக்கு அப்படின்னு சேஷாத்ரி சுவாமிகள் சொல்லுவார், அவ்வளவுதான். We all know Valmiki, we call him Valmiki. Why? The termites were all over him. வன்மீகம், புற்றுக்குள்ளேருந்து வந்தவர், அதனால வால்மீகி. தாயுமானவர், தன்னுடைய உடலை பற்றிய எந்த நினைப்பும் இல்லாமல் இருந்தவர். So many of them, almost all of them, சுகபிரம்மம். சுகபிரம்மத்தை பற்றி விளையாட்டாக சொல்கிறது உண்டு. some women were bathing in the river. அந்த வழியாக வியாசர் போனார். Those women immediately took their attire, their dresses, and clad themselves, covered themselves. கொஞ்ச நாழி கழிச்சு அதே வழியாக சுகர் போனார். And these women were not bothered. So Vyasar came back and asked, I am an old person, and when I walked here, you were all worried about your deham. But when Sukha went, none of you were bothered. They all said, he was not bothered as to what gender we belong to. He was not bothered, so we did not. You came back and asked us. So know what status you are in. இப்படி எல்லாரும். And that is what Lakshmi has brought out in this book. These saints and sages were at a different level, and the saints and sages we have amidst us, they are at a different plane. That is what we'll have to understand. I'm reminded of Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara, in one of his shlokas in Saundarya Lahari, says, Amma, I would want to be fallen at your feet as a Shad Charanam. Tavam Charanam Shat Charanadam. Shat Charanam is the name for the honeybee. Arukali, Tamil Arukali, because it has 6 legs, it's called Arukali and Shat Charanam. What does this mean? We all have seen the mangoes. The mango season has just gone past. But we all have seen there is something called the Vandodina Padam. And those of you who have had the taste of the vandodina padam will remember if you cut the fruit and see, there is no sign of any vandu oding there. How did the vandu get in? We don't know. It's simple botanical principle. The flower was there, the bee went and sat, enjoyed the pollen, மயங்கி போச்சு, பூவுக்குள்ளேயே உட்கார்ந்தது, பூ மூடிடுது, and the vandu was caught inside. After some time, the vandu died in our language. In the restrictive language that we have, it died. What essentially happened, the vandu could not breathe, it lost all its body components, and there was a chemical transformation. The vandu became part of the entire fruit. Complete chemical transformation. What Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, மரணத்தை எண்ணி கலங்கிடும் விஜயா, நீ அழிக்காவிட்டாலும் இவர்களின் தேகம் அழிந்துதான் தீரும். And that is what Adi Shankara wanted. I want to lose my identity. I want to lose my ness and I-ness. Ahankaram and mamakaram to go away. Sendriya manasa niyamaadyevam drakshasi nija hridayastam devam. And drakshasi nija hridayastam devam is what autism and Advaitam are all about. There are several similarities between autistic individuals and Advaita, or the Advaitans. Both are in their own world. Both do not bother about the outer world. Both are in the bliss of self-realization. In other words, Advaita is Atma Sakshatkaram. Autism is also Atma Sakshatkaram. I do agree with Gopalakrishnan ji when he said that we need to have awareness programs. Yes, we need to have awareness programs. Maybe teachers will have to be sensitized, parents will have to be sensitized. But my humble request to everyone here is that the support system is the most important in dealing with autistic people. Let us not say the teachers will have to understand, the parents will have to understand. Every one of us will have to understand. We need not have a particular individual at home, but as a community, we will have to understand the responsibility and extend that support system. I believe this kind of an awareness that all of us are part of that Advaitic world. Advaitamnu சொல்லும்போது there is no two. Advaitam தான். எனக்கு கண்ணதாசனுடைய ஒரு பழைய வரி நினைவுக்கு வருகிறது. ரமணன் இங்கே இருக்கிறதுனாலையோ என்னவோ தெரியல. தெளிவாக தெரிந்தாலே சித்தாந்தம், அது தெரியாமல் போனாலே வேதாந்தம். அந்த தனித்தனியா இவர்கள் வேற, இவர்கள் யாரோ, இவர்கள் ஒதுக்கப்பட வேண்டியவர்கள், இப்படி எட்டி பார்க்கறது, இப்படி திரும்பி பார்க்கறது, இந்த தனித்தனி போயிட்டாலே அந்த அத்வைத அவேர்னஸ் வந்துவிடும். I think Lakshmi's focus is towards that. All the best, Lakshmi, and congratulations for a wonderful work. And my very sincere thanks to the Honorable Governor and the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. As a single focus, let our goal and objective towards making the community become a support system for autism be fulfilled and fructified. Thank you very much. Vanakkam.
Thank you, ma'am. And now, we request the Honorable Governor to release the book Advaitha and Autism in Hindi and Dr. Sudha Seshayyan to receive the first copy of the book. Thank you. And now we request the Honorable Governor to deliver his address.
Most respected Sri K.V.S. Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Sudha Seshayyan, Tirumati Lakshmi, the author of the book, Sri K.N. Ramaswamy, Director, Bhavan, distinguished invitees, gracious ladies and gentlemen, at the very outset I'd like to thank all of you who have chosen to spare some time to listen, to think, to discuss about an issue, a subject, which is so little understood and which is so little discussed, but an issue which is growing as if at a geometric proportion, the number of autistic children. Autism, I must first thank and congratulate the author. I see has written the book and translated it, got it translated in different languages, Tamil as well as English as well as Hindi. And I had the benefit of reading the Hindi version of it because I got the Tamil and Hindi version. I couldn't get the English. I tried Tamil, and but I'm more smoothly, naturally being a Hindi one who comes from that. It was easy for me. It gives a different perspective, a very, very revolutionary perspective on a subject which is so important and yet so marginal to our collective consciousness. Dr. Sudha Seshayyan said this is something about where we don't have very clear idea about. In fact, my understanding is that we hardly have any idea about it. When Sri K.V.S. Gopalakrishnan, he mentioned about the disability rights of disabled, the act which was made by the parliament. It often talks about, and it is often implemented in the spirit of physical disability when you have something external. But when it comes to a person, a child, who is born autistic, there is huge lot of lack of clarity. And today the number is increasing. In fact, in 2020, with some of the data which I got from the Government of India, respective concerned department, ministry, at the time their assessment was that we have more than 5 million children, autistic children in India. And I believe this is a gross understatement, because when a child is born autistic, the first shock that the parents get because the expectation is every parent expects the arrival of their child. And when the child is not what they seem in our understanding, not normal in the behavior, it becomes clear later. Then it happens, as it happens with all this situation of grief or tragedy, the first response is denial. No, it is not true. My child is not. My child is normal. And you react violently to anyone who points a finger. Then the next step is why the God has chosen us. Why it is us that our child is autistic. Then comes the stage of pain, grief, and at a later stage, acceptance. By the time the parent realizes or accept the child, the status of the child, it often gets late. Because whatever little has been understood about this phenomenon, there is a general consensus that early intervention is more helpful. Earlier, the better. Since this is such a huge spectrum, wide spectrum, that is why people call it also as the child is on a spectrum. In some children, it gets detected at a much later stage. Later in the sense that when the child comes to 5, 6, 7 years, it's not always a speech disability or some such. It has, uncountable forms. Some years back, I was told when I was in US that in US, 1 in every 50 child is autistic. Now, when we have such a large number of people, and when the government of India quotes the figure of 5 million, we should not also forget the fact that a large number of such cases are suppressed because of the denial. More so if the child happens to be a girl child. Parents will not admit that the child is autistic. As a result, the child is denied of the intervention. And the problem aggravates. Because all said and done, the child has to cope up with this world, the existence. He has to or she has to live. And for that, absence of what we call sense of I, sense of guile, sense of greed, these are stages of higher evolution. But those people, those children, they live in the midst of all like people like us who are not evolved. On the contrary, people in general, how do they look at the children? There is unfortunately a stigma attached. Somebody says the child is mad. Is the child mad? Now, either the attitude, popular attitude is either some people would pity. The child is not object of pity. Certainly not. Indifference, that's not again is something which is acceptable. That people remain indifferent to such a child. And then there are not many people whose response is hostile. As I said, people say mad. Now this pity, indifference, hostile, this is the general, this sums up our attitude to the children. This has to change. And how do we change it? In fact, the act about the Disability Act, which Sri Gopalakrishnan mentioned, I did some study, peripheral, not very deep. And I was shocked that the authorities, this is an act of parliament, but authorities who are supposed to enforce this act, they are not even aware of this responsibility. Invariably, in every state, invariably, it is the Director of Education is entrusted with this additional responsibility. It casts certain obligation on the schools. It casts certain obligations on other institutions. And there are remedies prescribed. There is a case going on in Supreme Court. Because schools have their own point. They say that, well, if you want us to have a special teacher, then who will pay for that? Why not a state subsidizes it? Does the state not have this obligation? Now these are being discussed, these are being sorted out. But the fact remains that the authorities who are supposed to enforce it, they are not even aware of it, because this is an additional responsibility given to the person who is a full-time busy with his day-to-day or his or her day-to-day responsibility regarding his own department. So there is an indifference at the part of government. There is an indifference on the part of society. Now in this backdrop, and in fact, people, unless you have somebody close you have seen, people believe that I am beyond it. It is not my problem. Literally realizing that how temporal, how transient the life is. Anything can happen to anyone. I am talking very nicely here. Any moment I can slip and I go into coma. This moment, one moment, it can change the life. From all great, glorious being, you become an object of pity. But still we don't realize, and we believe that these children are not our problem. We have nothing to do with them. So in this, while the responsibility is of all, there is a need for greater awareness, greater sensitivity. It is not merely clinical awareness that yes, autism is an issue in the society. Because every parent is worried, the family is worried what will happen to the child. Because child doesn't have a sense of property, mine, it is mine, no. You have. So what will happen? The parents know that after I go, my child would be here. Who will look after? Because the very basic, the fact which we otherwise we condemn all the time, guile, greed, very bad. But these are so essential, it becomes for survival. That a child who is born guileless or greedless is at a risk of perishing. How do we cope with this situation? Now, in this campaign of awareness, I find the book written by Tirumati Lakshmi. It gives a new perspective, a new dimension. A perspective that tells you that far from being an object of pity, the child is an evolved one. Perhaps the God has created the child as an evolved one. When all the characteristic of the one who has attained that stage of, or on the way of attaining. There are few who might have attained it. I believe it's quite difficult, but our sages and rishis have attained it. The stage of Advaita, when you become. Yes, there were people and there are people who have, but there are very few and far between. But society to look at these children as children who are a special gift to the humanity, the gift which God has given to us. As we look after those Advaitans, those sages and rishis, can we have something similar attitude to these children? Now it helps in the process of collective acceptance. This is not a medical problem. This is not a disease. The doctors will tell you the person is differently wired. Yes, differently wired, could be. That is our material explanation, physical explanation. But taking it to the spiritual level, where a perspective is given, here is a child who is in a state of bliss. You believe that the child is not normal, but who knows, perhaps we are not normal. Now, can we have that kind of? In this attempt, I believe this is a game-changing, put it now the word language expression of the business world, a game changer. It gives an entirely new perspective. And I would suggest that Srimati Lakshmi should work more and produce more such books. She is working, she has dedicated her life to what we say rehabilitation. Again, we use, because we judge everything by our standards. Rehabilitation of the children. Music therapy. She has helped numerous children. I feel humbled in her presence, the fact that one who has dedicated her life silently, quietly, it is worthy of applause. And I would also like to thank Bhavan for being a partner in organizing this event, as it has always been. This book and more such books, more such works should be translated in various languages. And we should also have how to find, now it is a digital age. We may also think of how to make it easily accessible to the people far and wide. Because this beginning, it is a very humble, honest, simple beginning. It looks a very tiny book. But it has a seed it is like a banyan tree, seed of a banyan tree, which is so tiny, so small. But there's a whole massive mammoth tree hidden in it. It can be elaborated, it can be explained. It needs to be done. Maybe more people should join, more people should work on it to make this new evolutionary breed, if I call it, because such problem was not before. It might have been there, but might have been in a very rare cases. Today it is becoming a commonplace. Could be we are going through a kind of an evolutionary phase where a new breed of humans are coming up who are what is modern science call it differently wired. And what we might like to say, they are evolved people, they are at a different level. Yes, it could be. After all, all this journey, even our Rishi Aurobindo, when he talked about, we say that our evolutionary journey is not over. From Jada to Jeev to Manas to Ati Manas, that stage is yet to come. When we get to that level, what is Advaita? So I think this is about an unfolding scenario where we are all grappling, the world is grappling to understand it, appreciate it, and to deal with it. In this effort, in this journey, in this campaign. Now the work of Srimati Lakshmi is appreciable, is laudable, and it should get wider acceptance. Friends, thank you all for sparing your time once again for this noble cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful speech. And now we request Thru K. Ramaswamy to propose the vote of thanks. Please.
Sri Guru Bhyo, I would like to be very brief. I think we had a wonderful session today on the autism and very highly informative and suggestive. And I'm very happy to see many people like our singer, great singer like O.S. Arun, who runs a institution for disabled children, and they also get the support from the Bhavan. He's also here. And we also have Mr. Ramanan, and in addition to all the dignitaries who have come today, because they feel they are a part of the entire project, what we have in mind, to give a supportive system to the autism children and what best we can do it. And Bhavan has been doing it for years now, and we have got disabled children also, blind children, and this is also part of our school work. We also extend this through our Rajaji Vidyashram, all the help. Then anytime any of these organizations want any help from the Bhavan, we are always, the door is always open. This is what we want to say, and we will help them. Even if they want to get some books printed and other things, we will be there with you because we feel this is a part of our Indian culture and values. This is a culture, Indian culture, to support each other. You see, that's also a part of the culture. What is Bhavan doing here on these things? We also have for disabled children also a one support system. We also have this, I think the Freedom Trust, I think they also come here today. They are also here. We also give a lot of support to the Freedom Trust, who gives the disabled people various appliances. This also we support. We will continue to support this, and with all the blessings of all of you and the support, we look forward to have many more sessions where we get educated and where to take it forward. Thank you all once again, and we will have in another 5 minutes, we should start the program. Sri Tyagaraja Charidam presented by the autism children. Before that, I would like to honor Sri Mahadevan, who did the Hindi translation of this book. Mr. Mahadevan, please come to forward. I would request the governor to honor him with the Ponnadi. He will be happy.
Come on, I have not done it.
Thank you all. Please raise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
And now the thematic musical presentation, Sri Tyagaraja Charitram, by the ASD students of Sowmanasya Trust, trained by Srimati Lakshmi. The team comprises of singers Jyoti and Samson, on Mridangam Gautaman, on Dolak Sri Venkateshan, on Kanjira Shankar, on Ghatam Jayatith. I would like to welcome them onto the stage. Please.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, check, check, check.
Saint Tyagaraja was born in Thiruvarur in May 1767. His parents were Kakarla Ramabrahmam and Seethamma. Both his maternal and paternal grandfathers were musicians. After some time, the family shifted from Thiruvarur to Thiruvayyaru. During his childhood, his father sent Tyagaraja to Sri Sonti Venkataramanaya to learn music. Tyagaraja was a very enthusiastic student. His father also taught Tyagaraja and his brother mathematics, Puranas and astrology. When Tyagaraja was 11, he composed his very first Kriti, Namo Namo, in the meaning, eternal salutations to Sri Raghava, worshipped by sage Sukha. He is ever closely related to all who have none else to depend on, ocean of mercy that he is. He eliminates the sins of devotees as the sun dispels darkness.
Namo Namo Raghavaya Anisham. Namo Namo Raghavaya Anisham. Namo Namo Raghavaya Anisham. Namo Namo Raghavaya Anisham. Sukanudaya Neelabandave. Sukanudaya Neelabandave. Hare Rama Sagala Loga Naya Childave. Hare Rama Namo Namo Raghavaya Anisham. Namo Namo Raghavaya Anisham.
His guru blessed him, saying that he was indeed fortunate and blessed to have a student like him. People around were astonished by his profound poetic vidvat. Sonti Venkataramanaya taught him all that he knew in music, but he did not fail to appreciate the student whose vast expertise was beyond his knowledge. One day, he invited many great musicians to his house and asked Tyagaraja to perform before them. Tyagaraja sang the song Dorakuna in the meaning, "Can I get your darshan? You are lying on Adisesha in the ocean of milk, even as the Devas bow to your effulgence, and Narada and Ambarisha sing in your praise." Blessed him, saying that he was indeed fortunate and blessed to have a student like him. Tyagaraja was used to doing Unchivriti. He would sing hymns in praise of Lord Rama as he walked around the streets asking for alms. He would collect the grains and fruits given by the people during Unchivriti and bring it home. One day he sang the Kirtana in Napali, meaning, "My Savior Rama, you are surrounded by the kings all over. This is the most opportune time to protect me. Let me have the privilege of worshipping your feet. I felt convinced that you are the fruit of all my penance in previous births." His brother Japesan was waiting for him at the door. He scolded Tyagaraja, saying, "Did father teach us so many lessons in various subjects only to beg on the street? Why are you doing this lowly job?" Tyagaraja replied that this is not begging but unchavritti. We should satisfy our hunger by singing his name and Kirtanai only. In these circumstances, one day his Guru Venkataramanaya informed him that I have taught you all that I know, but your genius is beyond my knowledge. I have nothing more to teach you in music. Narada is considered as Pitamaga of art of devotional music. You pray to him. He will certainly shower his grace on you. From that day onwards, Tyagaraja also started praying on to sage Narada. It is said that one day a stranger old man appeared in front of him and handed a few palm leaves to Tyagaraja and disappeared immediately. The theory of music was explained in detail in those palm leaves. When Tyagaraja tried to locate the old man to return those palm leaves, the old man was nowhere to be found. Tyagaraja realized that the old man was Narada himself and sang Shri Narada Muni, meaning, Hey Narada, did you come here yourself to meet this ordinary man? Venkataramanaya sent a letter to him saying that he was longing to hear his songs but was unable to come to him due to old age. Tyagaraja started from home immediately to meet his Guru. Many famous and prominent musicians from the courts of nearby kingdoms had gathered there. Everyone exhibited their musical genius. Finally, Tyagaraja also sang the Kirtanai, Endaro Mahanubavalu, meaning I pay obeisance to all the masters, musicians and gurus from all over the world. his rendition, everyone praised him, saying that they had performed with only raga and tala. But after hearing his song, performed with bhava, complete with true essence of his rendition, they had given up their pride. The news of Tyagaraja's effulgence reached Raja Sarabhoji of Tanjore. He dispatched his messengers with lots of gold and other expensive materials to fetch Tyagaraja and bring him to his court. When Tyagaraja's brother saw the expensive items, he asked the men to keep them inside the house. Tyagaraja returned from Unchavrti and was watching everything silently. But the men said that they will take the items inside only after Tyagaraja agrees to visit and sing in the Tanjore court. Tyagaraja sang the Kirtanai Nitichala Sukhama, meaning, will things like gold, materialistic items, jewelry, curd and butter give us more happiness and peace? Or will service rendered to Lord Rama in his Sannidhi give more happiness and peace? Away. His brother got so furious that he walked out of the house and started living in a separate house. Since he had disrespected the king, the people in the village refused to give him alms. But Sri Tyagaraja was adamant that his knowledge was only to sing Lord Rama, Rama's glory, not any others. He will not use his music to earn money and other properties. His wife and child supported him in this mission. One day, Tyagaraja composed the song Enduku Peddala, meaning you are not bestowing the real knowledge which is earned by the great masters who have mastered the Vedas and scriptures and imbibed the real essence. Why are you not showering the grace? Whom will I go to, Rama? As soon as he had completed his puja and sang the Kirtanai, a couple arrived at his doorstep. He asked them to come inside the house and showered his hospitality on them. Later he inquired about them. To this, they replied that we are great fans of your music. We have travelled a long way to listen to your songs. He treated them as best as he could to his heart's content. At that point, the couple inquired Tyagaraja, are you separated from your family members? You seem to be living alone. You don't seem to have any relatives with you. Tyagaraja replied, why not? I have Sita Devi as my mother, Sri Rama as my father, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrugna are my uncles in the Kriti. The couple was enthralled by his singing and listened to him totally lost in pleasure. At that point, a person came there and informed Tyagaraja that the couple who were listening to him in complete rapture was none other than Maharaja Saraboji and his wife. You can ask them whatever you want. In reply, Tyagaraja sang the song Banturiti Golu in the meaning, Lord Rama, make me a person devoid of any greed, anger, lust, pride and ego and enable me to only serve you all the time.
Banturiti Golu Priyavaiya Rama, Banturiti Golu Priyavaiya Rama, Banturiti Golu Priyavaiya Rama, Banturiti Golu Priyavaiya Rama. Song, Maharaja Saraboji apologized to Tyagaraja saying, please forgive me. Out of self-pride, I tried to buy your genius. I realized the devotion and divinity of your music. I am fortunate and blessed that I am your contemporary. He left after wishing Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja performed his daughter's wedding as best as he could. His student Venkataramana Bhagavathar started from Valajapet to take part in the wedding, but he arrived late, and by the time he arrived, the wedding was completed. He had brought a picture of Rama Pattabhisheka as a wedding gift. He handed it to his guru. Tyagaraja took it from him and holding it closely sang the song Nanupalimba, meaning, "Oh my Rama, my Prananayaka, did you come walking this far just for my sake?" Obeisance to the picture, called his student and told him, "Come and watch the wedding of Sri Rama." Thus saying, sang the song. The wedding of Sri Rama and Sita. Then he treated Sri Rama to delicious milk and also served him some simple food prepared by him, saying, "Please accept this milk and these food items, thinking that these have been prepared by Sita Devi." Later, he prepared a comfortable bed decorated with jasmine flowers for Lord Rama to take rest. He offered him sweet-smelling chandan, saying, "Oh Rama, please apply this pleasant chandan and sleep on the soft bed." He sang the Kirtanai, Pula Pampo.
परिमलगन्धम्बुमेन बागुगानु भूषि परिमलगन्धम्
brother was furious. He thought that it is only because of the presence of Lord Rama in Tyagaraja's house that everybody, including the king, are paying a visit to his house. Out of anger, one night he stole Rama's idol from Tyagaraja's house and threw it in the river Kaveri. Next morning, Tyagaraja could not find Rama's idol in the house and became restless. He cried aloud, saying, I am a great sinner. That's why has Rama left me and gone away. I will not stay even for a second in this house devoid of my Rama. I will come back only with my Rama. Thus saying, he started with his student Ganapati. His wife tried to reason with him, but he would have none of it. He started walking as his legs would take him, singing the Kirtane, Vandanamu, meaning, Hey Rama, are you happy with this situation? Please come back to me. Oh, ocean of mercy, does this befit you? You live in Tyagaraja's heart. Please come back fast.
వందనము రఘునందన సేదు వందన భక్త చందన రామ వందనము రఘునందన సేదు వందన భక్త చందన రామ వందనము రఘునందన. సీతమానతో పాదమా సీతమానతో పాదమానే వేదమాయితే ఓదమా రామ సీతమానతో పాదమానే వేదమాయితే ఓదమా రామ వందనము రఘునందన సేదు వందన భక్త చందన రామ వందనము రఘునందన. As he sang the song and walked down the path, a palanquin stopped near him. A person got out of it and introduced himself as Kovur Sundaresa Mudali. He said, I have heard a lot about you, but today there is a melancholy in your music. Tyagaraja replied that, I have lost my Rama, and looking around for him. Then Sundaresa Mudali requested Tyagaraja Swami, Swami, I am going on a pilgrimage. If you join me in the trip, you may get some peace. Tyagaraja agreed and started on the journey with him. They went directly to Tirupati. When they reached the temple, the curtains of the sanctum sanctorum were drawn. Tyagaraja at once sang the song Tarati Agarada, meaning please open the curtains of anger, jealousy, ego in me, which are keeping me away from moksha. Will this curtain not open for Tyagaraja?
Agara रति अगरादा लालोनी तिरुपति वेंकटरमण बसरमनो रति अगरादा.
As he completed the song, the curtains opened by themselves and they had a darshan of Lord Srinivasa. After completing this darshan, they headed for Kanchipuram. On the way, they heard a woman crying near a temple. When they inquired the reason, she stated that her husband had died during their visit to this temple. Tyagaraja was pained to hear this. Although death was imminent, but it was unfortunate that this should happen when they came to visit the Lord. At once he sang the song Najupu, meaning
నాజూపు ప్రకాశమా నా నాశిక పరిమళమా నా జపవర్ణ రూపమా నాతు కూజ సుమమా త్యాగరాజను తనా జీవా
meaning the Lord who lives as the light in my eyes, the fragrance in my nose, the name that I utter, the one who accepts my puja and exists as everything in my being. Please bring this man back to life. Even as he completed the song, the diseased person came back to life as if he had woken up from sleep. Everyone prostrated before Tyagaraja. Later, they visited Kanchipuram and prayed to goddess Kamakshi.
వినాయకుని వేలను బ్రోవవే నిన్ను వినావే పూరియ రమ్మ వినాయకుని వేలను బ్రోవవే నిన్ను వినావే పూరియ రమ్మ వినాయకుని వేలను బ్రోవవే అనాంతరక్షకి శ్రీకామాక్షి అనాంతరక్షకి శ్రీకామాక్షి సుజనాంగమోచని శంకరి జనని వినాయకుని వేలను బ్రోవవే నిన్ను వినావే పూరియ రమ్మ వినాయకుని వేలను బ్రోవవే.
Later, they visited Thiruvattriyur and prayed to goddess Tirupurasundari and composed some songs there. Moving forward, they visited Kovur and Tyagaraja stayed in Sundaresa Mudali's house. He composed a few songs on Lord Shiva. These are known as Kovur Pancharatnam.
शम्भो Shambho Mahadeva Shambho Mahadeva Charanadara Jana Rachana Shambho Mahadeva Charanadara Jana Rachana Amborugalo Jana Parabujavanire Amborugalo Jana Parabujavanire Shambho Mahadeva Shankarai Jaramana Shambho Mahadeva.
Later, he decided to return home and took leave from Sundaresa Mudali. Mudali gave some gold coins to Tyagaraja's student, saying, "It is Ramanavami time after a few days. Please use this for the celebrations. If I give this to him, he will surely refuse to accept them. Please give it to him after reaching home." He also arranged a palanquin for Tyagaraja. On the way, they passed through a dense forest. There, some robbers stopped him the palanquin. Tyagaraja told his student to show the robbers that they have nothing with them. The student told Tyagaraja about the gold coins given by Mudali for Ramanavami celebrations. Then, the coins are Rama's property. He should take care of his belongings. Thus saying, he started chanting Ramanama. After a few minutes, the robbers came running back to Tyagaraja and fell on his feet. They requested Tyagaraja to save them. "What happened?" asked Tyagaraja. They folded their hands in front of Tyagaraja, saying, "Please look at those two royal-looking boys wearing bright, rich clothes, showering arrows on us. We were not aware of your effulgence. We made a mistake. Please save us." Tyagaraja was astonished. He could not see anyone, but he understood that the boys who had come there were none other than Rama and Lakshmana. He looked at the robbers and said that you are very blessed. Sri Rama has appeared in front of you with his brother Lakshmana. I am not that fortunate and blessed. Tyagaraja was heartbroken and he was not fortunate enough to receive Rama's darshan. He cried singing,
బాలకనకమయ చేల సుజన పరిబాల శ్రీరమాలోల విద్రుత శర జాల సుమడ కరుణాల మానవన నీల నౌవ్యవన మాలికా వరణ కేలా నీదయ రాదు.
meaning, Rama, why have I not been blessed with your grace yet? Why is this bias? Please come, O Rama. When will you appear in front of me? And he went to his heights of frustration. From there he went to Srirangam and prayed to Lord Ranganatha. He also composed many songs in his glory. It was during these times that Tyagaraja's fame had started to spread far and wide. That night, Lord Rama appeared in Tyagaraja's dream and assured him that on the 7th day from today, you will find me in the river Kaveri. On hearing this, Tyagaraja hastened towards his place. Tyagaraja got down in the river Kaveri, which was flowing with great currents, and searched for Rama. This time, Lord Rama didn't fail him. As he held the idol of Sri Rama, which was his deity, his happiness knew no bounds. In sheer ecstasy, he sang the Kirtanai, Kanu Kontini, meaning, I found my Rama again. Tyagaraja's wife Kamala, who was saddened by her separation from her husband, was pleased to see him. Above that, she was ecstatic to see Sitapati Sri Rama. She welcomed them with Harati. The whole place was decorated for the festivities. Everyone celebrated Sri Ramanavami with great pomp and grandeur. As if she had been waiting for this, Kamala passed away after few months. Even after he grew very old, Sri Tyagaraja spent his life singing the glory of Sri Rama and also composed great plays like Prahalada Vijayam, Nauka Charitram, etc. Several great musicians came to meet him. Veene Kuppayar, Gopalakrishnan Bharati were also among them. Valajapete Venkataramana Bhagavatar, Manambu Chavati Venkata Subbayar were among the prominent students. At this stage, he sang Tavadaso.
Tavadasoham, 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 Dasharati, Tavadasoham, 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 Dasharati. Sarasijanetra Paramapavitra Surapadimitra Dasharati Tavadasoham 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 Dasharati Dasharati Dasharati.
So saying, he prays to Lord Rama in his weakened state. One night, Rama appeared in his dream and told him that you have lived your life in all the stages, a brahmachari, grihastha and vanaprastha according to dharma. Take up sannyasa. 5th day from today, I will bestow mukti on you. Tears of joy rolled down his cheeks. He described his dream in these words. I saw Rama along with his entourage upon the hill. I was ecstatic. As per Sri Rama's order, he took to saffron clothes and took up sannyasa. In this attire, he waited for 5 days, chanting Ramanama throughout. He was 79 years old then. As per the true words of Rama, on the 5th day, on the day of Pushya Pagula Panchami, Sri Tyagaraja attained mukti by Kapala Moksham.
Pavamana Sududu Padu Pada Vindamulaku Ninama Rupamulaku Nitya Jaya Mangalam Prahalada Naradari Patulu Pogalu Tulde Nilama Rupamulaku Nitya Jaya Mangalam Rajiva Nayana Tyagaraja Vinutamaina Dinama Rupamulaku Nitya Jaya Mangalam. இந்த வாய்ப்புக்கு மிக்க நன்றி.
Thank you, dear students of Sowmanasya Trust, for this musical treat. Our special thanks goes to Srimati Durga, our violinist, to have accompanied our students here. We are too humbled, sir. Our hearty thanks goes to Honorable Governor. Thank you very much. And our sincere thanks to our volunteers too. Thank you.